Welcome to this list on the top 10 worst video games of all time. I'm Tuba Master 42, also known as Ganondorf's second in command, and I'm here to count down the top 10 worst video games of all time. Video games are epic, but unfortunately, I can't say the same for these unholy pieces of poop. Now the rules are as follows: only one per franchise and only games I have played. So don't expect games like Bubsy 3D. Also, keep in mind the title of this video. These 10 games are the worst games of all time, and that's a fact. Now with all that said, here are the top 10 worst video games of all time. Number 10. So you guys know the phrase, so bad it's good? Well, there's also such thing as something being so good it's bad. Case in point, The Legend of Zelda. Oh...
Hey man! How dare you! How dare you make fun of Ocarina of Time just like you did in that one video that nobody remembers! That game is perfect and everybody must love it! That'll show him!
Don't worry, it's not Ocarina of Time.
Okay, so what's your actual candidate?
Ocarina of Time.
Come!
So yeah, Ocarina of Time. I love this game. I love this game so much that it should be a sin. And that's the thing, it is a sin. Number 9. Now I know what you're thinking, but isn't No More Heroes 2 one of the most praised games in the Countdown community? Isn't it the community's god? Well, yes, it is a very popular game in the Countdown community. However, I think it's one of the worst video games of all time, and that's solely because of Jasper Bat Jr. He's easily my most hated video game character, and that's because of his horrendous boss fight. It completely ruins the game, and it robbed me of a great final battle. Number 8. Number 7. Horror games have become a very popular video game genre, but honestly, they're all terrible. Maybe it's just me, but no horror game has ever scared me before, probably because I watched a lot of 80s kids movies as a kid. But also, I feel like horror games have lost their touch recently. Every single horror game has become nothing but jump scares nowadays. Overall, horror games just aren't that good, and anyone who says that they're good are factually wrong. Samus Aran is one of the greatest characters of all time. She's defeated space pirates, she's destroyed planets, she's wiped out parasites, all great character traits. But then Metroid Other M came along and ruined her character. When did we ever see her suffer from PTSD? Why is she suddenly such a rebel to the Galactic Federation? Why does she see herself as a mother figure to the Metroid baby? And above all else, why do we have to see Samus's butt? Oh yeah, I forgot to say. Number 6. And now, number 5. What's there to say about Pokemon? It's got great Pokemon, great characters, great music, great areas, and above all, great games. But easily the worst game in the Pokemon series is Pokemon Generation 1. Now I know a lot of you grew up off this generation, and honestly, you had terrible childhoods. I mean, do I even have to say anything? Just look at this game. Look at it! Not to mention, it has the most generic lineup of Digimon in the entire franchise. They have an upside-down Pokeball. What were the developers thinking? I mean, compared to the awesome Pokemon we got in later generations, this lineup is just garbage. Number 4. So I doubt many of you know about this, but Konami has proven to be one of the most unlawful, unqualified, and overall worst companies to ever exist. First they canceled Silent Hills. I know I said all horror games are garbage, but that still doesn't justify these mean actions. Then they went ahead and fired Hideo Kojima? What kind of person would do that? I don't even need to go into further detail. Number 3. Can I even call this a game? No, I literally can't even do that. Dalmatians 3 is the worst game Phoenix game has... Worst game... Dalmatians 3 is the worst game Phoenix Games has ever made, and that's saying a lot. Admittedly, I haven't played the game, but I've watched Cat Icarus's review of it, so I think it's justified. Wait, hold on a second. I think someone's hacking into my video.
Hey!
Mike, what are you even doing here? Caddy was supposed to be hacking into my video.
Hey, Michael and Caddy sounded pretty close last time I checked. Besides, I'm desperate for work.
Well, you hacked into my video, so I guess we're gonna have to collab.
Okay, what's the topic?
Top 10 worst video games of all time.
Oh. Okay.
Mike, what are you doing?
Drowning myself.
Number 2.
I adore Steam Greenlight. It's like fishing through a rubbish bin. Maybe you'll find something worth your time, but most of it will be a heaping mass of putrid crap like you'd expect. It's kind of okay since you know what you're getting into, but it's also inundated to near breaking point at this stage with games that probably shouldn't be there. I won't mention any this year since they're easy targets, but thankfully there's a more entertaining option called SOLBRAIN Night of Darkness. Strap yourself in, this game has stunning 3D graphics. You think you're ready, but you're not. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Frankenstein's Monster, the video game. SOLBRAIN, which released on PSN this August, decided to do away with making your own assets and instead resorting to stealing them from sources that most people will recognize, which isn't a smart move. That's why you can spend 8+ hours looking at a character model ripped straight from Terra Online, who wields a large shield taken from Skyrim. Or you can watch this incredibly matter-of-fact trailer which talks about... that also uses music from Ori and the Blind Forest, or maybe you can look at the logo that steals art from someone's DeviantArt page and font from The Legend of Zelda. It's been taken down from the PlayStation Store, but for a few moments there you could pay money and download a gigabyte of whatever the this game is. Of course, since I'm not that much of an opportunist, I never got a chance to play it myself, but I really wish I did. Sometimes you need to play something truly awful to get a benchmark of how far some games have yet to slip. I'm sure you won't begrudge its place on this list even though I never played it. I doubt it was hiding anything. Apparently only 60 people downloaded it. That makes it rarer than Silent Hills.
So you're probably wondering what could be worse than this game, but before we get to number 1, let's recap. Number 1. There really couldn't be any other game at number 1. It's the most infamous video game of all time. It is a game that was so bad that it got buried in the desert. It is a game that nearly killed video games. And for that, I have no other choice but to have this game at number 1. It is none other than E.T. on the Atari 2600. I know, it's the most generic choice, but honestly, there's nothing else that could have taken the top spot. It has to be this way. Now, I probably made a lot of you mad with these entries, but I don't care. Keep in mind, this is my opinion. Granted, any other opinion is wrong, but I digress. This has been Ganondorf second in command, and videos like this make me question every life choice I've ever made. Whose idea was this?